In order to get to your calendar, just make sure that you're signed in, and you can do that by having, if you have an image in the upper right hand corner, or if it has your name once you're logged in, you'll know that you're logged in, and you can click on the apps button. And when you click on the apps button, you can go to Google Calendar. It's on the left hand side. And then from here, you'll have a giant overview, and we'll go over a large portion of Google Calendar right now. And then in subsequent videos, we're going to go over how to create events, how to share your calendar, all the different settings and labs that you can set up. You'll notice first that this has a default view for what your calendar is. My calendar is defaulting to week view, but you can just default to that day so you can see items in more detail. You can default to months so you can get a larger scale picture. And then there's also a 4-day like upcoming type of event. And then there's also agenda. An agenda basically gives you a list of all of the events you have upcoming in the future. Also across the top, there's this more button, which is gives you print. And then there's the gear, which is always the settings button. And it gives you a few different options. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, we're going to go over settings and labs in another video, as this one's just a general overview. On the left-hand side, you have the create, which allows you to just do a quick create into a event, which we'll get into in a later video. It also has a little drop down, which is a quick add, where you can just type in an event that you have that you want to come up rather quickly, and it'll add directly to your calendar, and you can edit and add more details later on. It gives you a month view, and you'll notice that anything that's bolded here are days that I have events already on. So it kind of gives you a little overview of things that you have upcoming, or at least days that you have upcoming things. And then a little bit further down, you have My Calendars, which has a little drop-down arrow. If I wanted that to go away, I can just click on that, and it'll close it or collapse it. And if I click on it again to arrow down, it'll expand to all of my calendars. Same thing with other calendars. Other calendars are ones that people have shared with me or I've joined them. You'll notice that there's one here for, this is a Google Classroom calendar, as are these two. And then the other thing that you can do from right over on this side view is if you don't want to view those calendar events, you can click off where the little colored tile is. You'll notice that birthdays I have off. If I hover over it, it turns blue. And when I go away from it, it's now clear. And any of these ones that are here that I don't want to see events for on my calendar, I can just click off on that colored tile, and it then turns white. And if I want those events to come back, I can click those on. And if I do it to my calendar, you'll notice events will go away. And now I kind of got rid of everything. And then if I click it back on, those events come back. This will also has a little drop-down menu when you hover over them that gives you a bunch of different options to display those things on the calendar. You can go directly to the calendar settings, which we'll get to in a later video. You can create events on that calendar. You can share that calendar directly from there, which we'll also get to in another video. You can edit notifications for those calendars, or you can change the color to match pretty much whatever you want. So you can color code all of your calendars as you're moving forward. One of the very easy things to do that is useful if you like keeping lists is you can add reminders to either days or hours. So if I wanted to add a reminder for Thursday, if I click in a box, it gives me event or a reminder. So if I click on reminder, it says remind me too. So I like keeping a ton of lists. I need to remember to make a video on Gmail. And then I can say the date that I want it to be. I can have it be there all day. I can repeat this multiple days, how many days I want it to be on, over and over and over again. And then once you hit create, it shows up here. And then from there, if I want to push it a day, I can drag it. If I want to bring it back a day, I can drag it there. And if I click on it, it then gives me the option to either delete it, edit it, or mark it as done. So if I mark it as done, it then crosses it off my list, and I know that it's been put there. In other videos that are upcoming, we will go over how to create actual events, how to share your calendars, and some different settings that you can go through as well.